RSL coming into this knowing they have a competitive game to play in just 48 hours. They resume MLS action against the Portland Timbers. That very much on the mind of coach Mike Petke, but he's given his starters, we think, about 30 minutes to play here tonight. Try and savor the moment. Well, similar sort of sloppy start at the back we saw on Saturday night. A cheap giveaway. Can United prosper? They can't this time to play at Real Salt Lake. Their 13 years of existence. They lost at home to Inter last year. I think the second European team actually to play here at Rio Tinto. It's been RSL's home since the end of 2008. United at times made it look really easy, didn't they, on Saturday night? Stroking the ball around. 3-0 up at half-time. For more of the same as Jose Mourinho builds toward the start of his second season in charge. And there's no doubt about it, Ali, it is a pivotal season. United having finished 6th last year. And not just 6th, some way off the pace too.
That would be 24 points behind. It's unacceptable for Manchester United and for the expectations of a club and a brand that is as big as there is in the world. It's a brand that transcends sports, and those expectations come with that. The fact that you're going to spend a lot of money and a lot of players, well, then you have to be able to deliver on the field. And the truth is that Manchester United came up short of those expectations last season.
Well, and that is the theme, Ali, for our Uber's drive to success. Manchester United will have to get rid of that little statistic, weren't they? 15 draws last year in the English Premier League. A chance. Offside flag.
To be the guy that steps in and is going to score the big goal that makes those draws into wins, I think he's going to need a lot of help from people around him as well.
And here's his good friend Paul Pogba on the ball. Played a big part in luring him towards United. Prying Lukaku away from Everton. Didn't seem to be United's first choice, did it, for several weeks this summer? Alvaro Morata. Real Madrid, perhaps the man wearing that tag. Lindelof, a timely clearance as RSL.
The way that Jose Mourinho and the front office of Manchester United, the board, presented it as Romelu Lukaku has always been our priority. Well, not quite the case.
Easy to say that, isn't it, after you've spent the 75 billion.
At some point early on in the summer, it was Antoine Griezmann. That didn't work out. Then Morata seemed to be the hot name. That didn't work out. And then came Romelu Lukaku. A lot is expected of Romelu Lukaku.
Beckerman's little chip ball, seeking out Jefferson Savarino. It's Tony Beltran trying to help. Second team of RSL, and they took over the first team 3 games in. That's an exciting burst from Rusnak, who's...
It's very difficult to score from there.
Already signs of a much more positive start from MLS opposition tonight. We saw on Saturday. Lukaku, meanwhile, wheeling and dealing. Jesse Lingard helping it on. McTominay weighing it up and not far wide. So getting his fingertips to it. Probably heading. Pogba forcing his way through the challenge from Beltran. Beltran trying to fight back. Inventive distribution to Fosu Mensah. Now McTominay is lurking with intent again. This time the shot had the sting taken out of it. RSL will be fresh tonight, no doubt about it. United was playing just 48 hours ago. RSL haven't played since July the 4th, and what a game it was for them. They went down to LA and won by 6-2 at the StubHub Center. Perhaps sort of result that turns the season around as Joel Pereira has to come out quickly. Savarino lurking, the 20-year-old Venezuelan, Ali. Already an international.
A player that people in Venezuela are excited about because of his ability in one-on-one situations, his abilities to hit the ball from distance, both with left and right foot. A lot of young players coming out of Venezuela, as shown in the U20 World Cup. Hopefully that talent can be nurtured and taken into the full squad.
Savarino might have to get back here. Daley Blind have got forward. Savarino, talking of young. Looking at the statistics for him, Ali. He seems to be playing first-team football since the age of 15 in Venezuela. Not sure if that was accurate, but he racked up the games down there. He's found Beltran here, Savarino, and the Beltran in turn. It's Rusnak serving it in. It's awkward for Fosu Mensah. No damage done. The International Champions Cup starts early tomorrow morning. AC Milan against Borussia Dortmund, 7 a.m. Eastern on ESPNU. You can join us for that. That time of year is upon us. The international friendly starts rolling in thick and fast. Some early mornings, some late nights, Ali. Games from around the world.
And we'll be involved.
That's enterprising play from Plata. Plata continuing the run.
This is Fosu Mensah with the clearance.
This is Sonny. Rusnak and Beltran combining again on the near side. Rusnak, Manchester City academy player, never broke into the first team, played for City's reserves before being loaned out. Away from Lindelof a lot earlier in the summer. The minimum of fuss as well. The Benfica central defender being brought in. It's a scuffed back clearance, but it's effective enough. Nick Rimando, though. Not too many firsts left in the career of Nick Rimando. This is a first for him tonight, a game against Manchester United. The man who has more wins, shutouts, start ever goalkeeper. You're watching this international friendly on ESPN. Real Salt Lake and Manchester United, presented by Heineken. By the home team.
Well, they don't seem to be nervous, which was one of the problems with the LA Galaxy early on in the match a couple of days ago, that every pass was difficult, every trap of the ball was difficult, and Manchester United, with their high pressure, exposed that right away.
United's troubles last year primarily revolving around goal scoring. Only 54 goals scored. It's more than 20 fewer than any other team in the top six. Fewer even than Bournemouth, who finished some 23 points behind them. Add to that the fact that there's no more Zlatan Ibrahimovic, no more Wayne Rooney. There's a whole heap of expectation upon the shoulders of one Romelu Lukaku, is it not?
As there would be when you spend this sort of money and you make as big a deal as you have about this signing. Now let's assume for a second, I'll grant you that Romelu Lukaku is going to score the 28 goals in all competitions and Zlatan scored last season. That would be a very good season, right? You would take that if you're a Manchester United fan. Well, those 28 goals by Zlatan Ibrahimovic were not enough for Manchester United. Not enough in the sense that this team still finished 6th in the Premier League, which is unacceptable for this club. So you're going to need a whole lot more productivity and a whole lot more consistency from the rest of the attacking core.
Yeah, the supporting cast just really didn't produce in high enough numbers last year, did they? The likes of Marcus Rashford and Jesse Lingard. Mkhitaryan, who was out of favour at the start of the year. Here's Michael Carrick, the new captain, dispossessed. Didn't hear the footsteps behind him. Now Plata. Back to him from Rusnak. Plata's shot. And all the velocity diminished. The block on the edge of the area. Joao Plata, the Ecuadorian.
I thought Joao Plata could have pushed the ball even further, forcing the defender to make a decision. The simple pass to Rusnak was not executed properly. That took the momentum away, and eventually you allow Manchester United defenders to get back into the play. If you just push this ball at the defender, he's got to come at you. That creates space for Rusnak. He doesn't. Then in the end, you close on your own space.
Plata increasingly involved. As RSL starters know they're on a short leash here tonight, perhaps extra incentive to try and make the most of their 30 minutes or so that they're going to get. And here's another chance for Plata, who bends it, and Pereira needs 2 grabs to haul it in.
Comfortable enough for Pereira, who's able to make the save.
Pereira, who she grew up in Switzerland as a Portuguese under-21 international. First time 2 years ago he found himself out on loan at Rochdale, Ali. It's not the most glamorous of clubs in England. I'm sure I don't have to tell you that. But
I'm sure you've done your homework on Rochdale.
oh, I know Rochdale too well for my David De Gea in the eyes of some.
Uh-oh. That's high expectations right there.
Yeah.
Which begs the question, didn't they just sign Sergio Romero?
They did.
To an extension?
To another 4-year contract. Yes, so,
just asking.
a lot of goalkeeping talent at Old Trafford, and defence wasn't their problem last year. They only conceded 29 goals in the Premier League, second best defence after Tottenham. This is Fosu Mensah. Just a World Cup, and several RSL players back from United States duty in Korea. Many. We'll see several of the Real Monarchs players later on tonight. They're a team who are absolutely tearing it up in the USL at the moment. Rusnak. Soft control from Plata. Luis Silva helping it back to him. Plata bursting through, and it was a last-ditch challenge. Fabulous bit of defensive work, wasn't it? As the cross comes in, but inventive play from RSL opening. Fighting ball for Daley Blind to move on to Pogba. Haul his pass in. Real Salt Lake coming off, as I mentioned, a 12-day break. It was basically a 10-day mini pre-season. That's how Mike Petke referred to it as. He didn't have a pre-season as RSL coach. He took over after Jeff Cassar was let go 3 games into the year.
And may I just say that if you're letting a coach go 3 games into the season, that means that you weren't really comfortable with that coach to begin the season. So why not make the change in the offseason? I don't quite understand it.
Well, it was a bit of a head scratcher, wasn't it? I mean, Mike Petke was appointed in December as head coach of Real Monarchs, and then Cassar was given all of 3 games to try and steady his particular ship.
Well, the moment that Mike Petke was hired as Real Monarchs coach, you know that Jeff Cassar was thinking, uh-oh.
Right. Petke, of course, who was on the wrong end of a very controversial dismissal himself in New York, but his team really acquitting themselves very well here. Savarino has switched flanks for now. The Venezuelan going to work. Plata with the corner. Beyond the reach of Luis Silva. We'll have Roma taking on PSG. That'll be Wednesday at 8 Eastern on ESPN2, the ESPN app as well. As the ICC really gets going. Manchester United will be a big part of that tour. Academy product. He's been linked to the club in some shape or form since he was 5 years old, Ali. You like that?
Well, he's only 20, so there you go.
He's already a veteran. Been with them 15 years. Here's Savarino. Another exciting burst from him. A good ball too, and Silva is on the end of it. And RSL have broken through, and it's been coming midway through the first half.
A lot of confidence in the play by Savarino and understanding when to release the ball. Good run off the ball by Luis Silva, and then it was just a first-class finish.
Romelu Lukaku's being a little outshone at the moment.
If you're Justin Glad, you cannot allow Romelu Lukaku to get the ball, turn, get his head up, and create enough space to hit the shot on target. Doesn't think much of Romelu Lukaku, or not nearly as high as Manchester United fans do. Has been critical at times of Lukaku, and whenever he's come up as a top player, or the possibility of him becoming a top player in the Premier along the lines of Lukaku, because he just doesn't believe in him as a player.
Okay.
And I'm just trying to make fun of Stevie Nicol, because why not?
Phil Jones. And to nod it back to Joel Pereira. Well, I get the making fun of Steve Nicol, man. That's entirely understandable.
Have you seen Stevie lately? Come on.
Yes.
It's impossible to not make fun of Stevie Nicol. I love the man. Love that guy.
But it's interesting because his opinion of Lukaku is one that's not in isolation, but it doesn't match with the statistics. He scored a lot of Premier League goals, Ali. He scored 85 goals. He scored 80 Premier League goals before the age of 24. Only 3 players had ever done that in Premier League history.
I think the point that people like Stevie Nicol like to make is the idea that in tight spaces, Romelu Lukaku, is not the cleanest with his touches. And being a big guy, a big body, doesn't mean that you're a good make a jump here from Everton to Manchester United. And that is a jump. And the expectation that comes with it. And it's an everyday expectation. The other day, he took a poor touch in training, and that video went all crazy on social media because people were making fun of Romelu Lukaku. Well, that happens because you're part of Manchester United. He has to deal with that. If he's able to respond to those things, then he will score the goals and he'll be the important player that Manchester United thinks he can be. If not, then the pressure will only continue to mount.
The scrutiny ratcheted up about 10 times. And made that sort of move. Goodison to Old Trafford. Lukaku can put it all together. Could be an inspired signing, but it remains an if for now. Paul Pogba, all of eyes will be on him as well. See if he can up the ante in his second year in England. Did you get the criticism that he was subject to in his first year in charge, first year there in United, Alan?
Yeah, it's a guy that you paid a chunk of money, and he has to influence the game more than he has for Manchester United.
Mkhitaryan, meanwhile, has influenced the game here and has tied it up. Man, the placement was perfect. And Henrik Mkhitaryan, Mickey, as he's sometimes called, he certainly was in his Dortmund days. Wasn't Jose Mourinho's good books at 2 or 3 months of the year. Mourinho always resisted it. Did eventually stake his place, ended up with 4 goals in 24 appearances in the Premier League, but much of his good work came in the Europa League. Ali, where he scored 6 times, including in the final.
But he's one of those players that is going to have to produce consistently for Manchester United.
And again, the target, through ball. This international friendly on ESPN, RSL and Manchester United, presented by Heineken. And cometh the half-hour mark, cometh about 11 new men for RSL, because Mike Petke is going to be true to his word here and switch every one of his starters out the next time the ball goes out of play. Remember, they do have an MLS game in 48 hours' time, and it's not even here. There's the new 11 for you, including a brand new player, Marcelo Silva, who's getting his first minutes for RSL. Just recently signed Uruguayan centre-back. And a position they've been looking to fill for some time, since 2010. Silva and Aaron Maunt, who's partnering in alongside.
Well, this is a lot of fun.
Yeah. Danilo Acosta is now in at left back. First touch from that Marcelo Silva was a confident one. Back to Lalo Fernandez. Places Nick Rimando in goal. Matt went to Notre Dame. Originally drafted by the Timbers. His first year here in Salt Lake. Jose Hernandez is also out there in front of Beasler and Mulholland. Other names perhaps you're not so familiar with. Andrew Brody. He's wearing number 45. He's out there on the right-hand side. You can see him on the screen. Brooks Lennon has come on to get a few minutes. Salcedo just completing the 11-man switch. Manchester United readying some changes as well, perhaps. Jose Mourinho is actually going to wait till half-time to do so. Certainly the case on Saturday night. Victor Lindelof. Carrick on to Jones. Daley Blind. Signed after 2014 World Cup. His Dutch manager, Louis van Gaal. Crosswise there between Lingard and Lukaku. Salcedo to Acosta on the overlap. Big jump from Chris Wingert. Nick Beasler winning it back for Mulholland. He'll be enjoying this. Luke Mulholland grew up about 30 miles from Old Trafford. Northern English town of Preston. There he is, where he's number 19. Came to the United States and started his footballing odyssey in the USL with the Wilmington Hammerheads. Acosta serving it in. Shape to the cross from Danilo Acosta.
I believe it was Chris Winger, actually.
Oh, was it Chris Winger? Couldn't tell. He was upside down.
Ah.
We're doing the egg and spoon race next. It's McTominay. It's early days, of course. Lukaku just trying to find his rhythm and the runs of his teammates.
But because he hasn't been all that involved, you see him trying to come to the ball, getting perhaps anxious, not getting the ball where he wants it. And the last thing that you want to see from getting perhaps anxious, not getting the ball where he wants it. And the last thing that you want to see from Romelu Lukaku, if you're a Manchester United fan, he's going to be productive for you as long as he is inside that 18-yard box.
McTominay. To Fosu Mensah. Number one of those young players trying to establish his place in the Old Trafford hierarchy. Fosu Mensah, 19-year-old. Now then, Mkhitaryan. Lukaku, is this the moment for him? Still might be. Romelu Lukaku! A breakthrough for Lukaku. Will be many, many goals for the Belgian striker. Here's Andrew Brody at the other end. Touched away of the ICC. Luis Silva giving Real Salt Lake a deserved lead at the time, midway through the first half, but the response has been swift from United. Mkhitaryan and Lukaku. Now Lingard has opened up the defense again, but offside this time against Mkhitaryan.
Movement away from the ball is very good. If he's able to time those runs, then he becomes a whole lot more dangerous.
Mkhitaryan might have been hoping to meet up with his Armenian teammate here at Europa City today as Lukaku sets his sight. That'll be on the Ally halftime report. Lingard back to Pogba. Do you imagine the Jose Mourinho assessment will be, Ali, from what he's seen in this first half?
I think disappointed with the first 20-25 minutes where Real Salt Lake were the better team, created opportunities. The runs off the ball by Real Salt Lake in the final third created all sorts of problems for Manchester United defensively. What essentially is a second team here by Real Salt Lake, and we have seen that difference demonstrated over the last 10 minutes. Mourinho, those first 20 minutes. However, they're only a week into preseason, so I don't know how much you can really evaluate out of these matches.
Yeah, still trying to really build fitness at this stage, aren't they? And Mkhitaryan again falling foul of the offside flag. Armenia's top scorer all time, Henrik Mkhitaryan. Yura Movsisyan is third on that list, but Movsisyan putting himself in the doghouse here. Mike Petke kept out of proceedings tonight. Officially a hip injury, Ali. I'm not quite sure how sore the hip actually is.
How official is the official injury?
Back to Joe Pereira. It's going to be interesting to see what sort of changes Mourinho makes at half-time. He change all its starters at half-time on Saturday against the Galaxy. I think he brought 5 or 6 new players on at the start of the second half, and then made some more changes as the second half wore on. A rare summer without a major international tournament where most managers have close to a full squad to start a pre-season with. Searching for togetherness, searching for no distractions, no unsettled players. United pretty much have that. All the pieces in place, of course. Maybe there's still a signing or two to be made. They took care of the Wayne Rooney situation, didn't they, early on in the summer, before the team left for Los Angeles.
And I thought they did a wonderful job of dealing with what might have been a very uncomfortable situation with Wayne Rooney. And he just feels like everybody's happy and everybody's enjoying themselves. And Wayne Rooney's happy to be going back to Everton. And the rhetoric and the message has all been controlled very well with Manchester United. No discomfort. Everybody's happy. That's not always easy to do.
Sometimes elusive at this stage of pre-season, particularly in World Cup or Euro years. Didn't go for the top as Lukaku on the prowl again. Lockwood stayed forward. And that will do it. Alan Chapman bringing the first half to a close. The first half that